Yo, what's up guys and gals? I thought I'd do an audio tutorial, show you how to reduce your noise and actually give you a few different options. I know with the lockdown, a lot of people are creating YouTube channels, they are starting video blogs, they are going online and so forth. So why don't you learn from the best? Anyway, so I've got Final Cut open. I have a little clip that I shot outside on a cell phone. No special mic, no special processing, no special nothing, right? In fact, the clip is in its raw form right here. I'm gonna go ahead and play it so you can hear it. Yo, what's up baby? It's Fordee from FordeeTV. So I thought today we would do a video that would provide or be very useful to a lot of people. With the lockdown, the virus being in effect, right? A lot of people at home creating YouTube channels, blogging, doing videos, and your audio sounds like shit, right? Alright, without playing anymore, that's probably all we needed, right? Let's go ahead with this clip selected. I'm going to assume you have a little bit of Final Cut Pro knowledge for this, but so I may speak fast about certain topics. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. So with this clip selected, we'll open up the audio pane over here in the inspector, and when we're there, we'll come down to this little magic wand, if you will. When you click on that, it's going to go ahead and analyze the audio track. You could see that I've already done this because it wouldn't have yellow or green stuff or anything selected if I hadn't done it. But I've already done it. It automatically turns on the noise removal because it says, you know what? This is a noisy clip. So let's go ahead and play it real quick with this noise removal on at 50%, which is what it set it to. So right now I'm actually using a cell phone to record this video. No special mic. So wow, that is super tinny at 50%. If we turn this up to 100%, it's going to sound even worse. Come on, baby, go up. At all. And I'm going to show you three. Now it's removed a lot of the noise, but it's removed a lot of my voice. So for sure, if you use Final Cut's noise removal, you do not want to set it to 98, 100%, 50%. You're going to probably work around 30, 35, somewhere around there. Let's play it here. Let's see what it sounds like. Different plugins or so that sounds a little better. We need some loudness, so I'm going to turn this on. Or three different options to reduce the noise in your video. And remember, when you add loudness or you add a compressor, what you're doing is you're boosting everything. You're boosting the noise, you're boosting your voice, you're boosting everything. So this is something that's difficult to get around. However, I assume the signal chain that's happening inside of Final Cut is it should be reducing this noise before it hits the loudness, but we don't know that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. This is if you don't have any plugins or you don't want to buy any plugins. That's the route you'd go to remove the noise in your clip. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to turn the effects on. They're all still off. This was just universally having them all off. And I'm going to turn on channel EQ. Channel EQ comes with Final Cut Pro, and this is something that you should go ahead and apply to any dialogue track, right? Is we're gonna go ahead and make sure this first EQ curve is on, a high pass filter, and we're gonna set it to 150 Hertz. What this does is it removes the low end from your voice. It makes it less muddy, it makes it clearer. Let's play it with and without. I'm just gonna bring this back a little bit, and I'm gonna play it, and you can hear the difference. Effect, right? A lot of people at home creating YouTube channels, blogging, doing videos, and so it sounds better just by adding that EQ, right? Next, let's go ahead and close this out by clicking on the red button. I have several plugins here. We're not going to enable all of them. We're going to do a couple because what I used to do is just use iZotope's RX denoiser, right? And with iZotope's RX denoiser, this is version 6. They have a newer version now. There's only a few things you really need to set, right? Setting it to adaptive mode is good. It's going to learn on the fly, whether this is dialogue or music. Do you want this to be surgical or do you want it to be gentle? Usually for dialogue, I have it on, or for me speaking, it's on dialogue, and then the filter type is usually set to surgical. Unless it's too aggressive, then you can drop it to gentle. Your threshold depends, but for this particular instance, setting it at 3, it worked out. And as I play this, watch, I'm moving this curve right here down. Audio sounds like shit, right? And when I drop it down to -20, this is letting too much noise through. However, I push this all the way up here, So right now I'm actually using, it starts to get tinny just like it did when we were doing the noise removal before. However, 3 dB seemed to be a good spot, somewhere around there. Now the amount of reduction based on what we set our threshold at, I set to 12. However, we're gonna play with this real quick so you can hear the difference. Using a cell phone to record this video. If I put 0 reduction, it's not reducing anything, right? But if I put it all the way up, it reduces too much. No special mic at all. It again sounds too thin. It doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound nice, right? I have a beautiful voice. Let it shine. Anyways, I'm going to switch this back to 12, which I think was the right setting for this particular clip. And 3 here. Boom. Now, with and without, I'll turn this on and off. And I'm going to show you 3 different plugins or 3. Now, it didn't get rid of all of the noise. This clip has a lot of noise. In order to get rid of all of it, we'll end up getting rid of a lot of my voice, right? Because what this is doing is analyzing the different frequency of audio, and it's deciding what it should take out while still trying to maintain the character of the voice, right? So this isn't too bad. After we remove the noise, we're gonna wanna compress this, right? So I'll come over here, I have compressor loaded. This comes with Final Cut Pro. You do not have to buy it. I'll open it up and I'll show you some of the settings you may want to set. I've already set it for this particular clip, so let me go ahead and play it. Yo, what's up, baby? It's Fordee from FordeeTV. So I thought today we would do a video. So for this particular situation, the level coming in from the clip was low. So I boosted it on the input, and that's set right here to plus 3 dB. Next, I dropped the threshold to minus 21, and you drop this threshold based on this meter right here, which is showing you the gain reduction. You're looking for about minus 5, minus 6, somewhere around there for your dialogue, right? The ratio, I have it set to 4:1, and then I have automatic release turned on, I have a fast attack, and I have a knee set at 1. So really, that's all perfect. I turned on a limiter. I set it to minus 0.3 dB, and so that way we're not peaking, we're not going above. And with those settings, you're gonna get something nice. The only thing maybe that you'll change is the threshold here and your input gain, depending, right? If you have enough level from whatever audio source you have, you do not have to adjust this input gain. However, if you don't have enough, boost it a little bit, you know what I mean? Look to be coming in at between minus 9 and minus 6, right? That would provide. So it's coming in between minus 6, minus 9, more or less, and then we changed the threshold to make sure we're getting around minus 5, and that's what it sounds like, right? Let me go ahead here, turn off, well, let's close this first so you're not distracted. I'll scroll up until we see effects. I'll turn this on and off so you can hear a before and after. Or be very useful to a lot of people. With the lockdown, the virus being in effect, right? A lot of people are at home. So dramatically different. However, recently I came across a few Waves plugins and I said, hey, let's try those out. So I'm going to leave the channel EQ on since that is not an additional plugin and it's useful, period. I'll turn off the RX6 voice denoiser and the compressor. So Waves has a plugin called the NS1. This is a noise reducer. In fact, this is the noise reducer in mono. If you were doing something with stereo, you'd make sure you put the NS1S, but we're using my voice, which is mono, right? So I'll click on here to open this up. This really just has one knob. As you push this up, that will determine how much noise that you're removing. You can also go ahead and set one of the presets. And if you set, for example, ambient noise here, it drops it here. That's too much, or let's go ahead and play it and you can hear it. Or be very useful to a lot of people. With the lockdown, the virus being in effect, right? A lot of people are at home. So maybe somewhere there. And to be honest, I'm not so sold on this NS1. I think the RX6 sounds much better. You have more control. This is a one single knob. This is somebody who doesn't want to play with anything. They just want to raise it until if it starts to sound tinny, then you pull back. And I think that's all you'd have to pay attention with this particular one. Let's drag the slider up and down and see what it sounds like. Creating YouTube channels, blogging, doing videos. You can hear it almost pumping, right? Kind of like a gate. And the reason for that is it's trying to pull so much noise out of this track that this is too thin, this is too much. So we're gonna wanna pull back from there until it sounds more natural, and let's do that. Videos and your audio sounds like shit, right? So right now I'm actually using a cell phone to record this video, no special mic at all. And I'm gonna show you 3 different plugins or 3 different options to reduce the noise in your video, because having high quality audio is... See, here's the problem with this plugin, right? There's no additional setting, and I think somewhere between 45 and 55 is probably the right setting, but it's still pumping. You know what I mean? Like a gate. And that is not right. That's not what we want, but okay, let's leave that here. Next, you have another plugin from Waves. It's called the GW Voice Centric, again in mono. That's what the M stands for here. I'll turn this puppy on, I'll open it up, and again, this is actually something fairly easy to use. There's not a lot of options. There are presets here, like Mike's podcast voice, and there's basically one knob right here. You can turn this knob up and down, and let's go ahead and start it at nothing, right? And turn it up and see how it sounds. Is very important. Baby, it's Fordee from FordeeTV. So I thought today we would do a video that would provide or be very... So, as far as I'm concerned, what this sounds like to me is a sonic maximizer. It's giving warmth to the voice, etc. Mind you, on this particular preset, we have the delay, the doubler, and the reverb turned off, which, okay, in reality, it depends where you recorded this. So for example, my voice right now inside my house, I could turn on this reverb, make it sound a little sexier, etc. The doubler, we wouldn't need to do that because we're not trying to make our voice sound like a singing voice, etc. And we don't need a delay. But if we wanted, we can turn this up a little bit. The problem is that this is outside, and oops, we don't need that far. And we have a lot of other ambient noise with this recording. Very useful to a lot of people. With the lockdown, the virus being in effect, right? A lot of people do a video that would provide or be very useful to a lot of people. So now it sounds like it's in a hall. That's way too much, but maybe just a little bit would sound okay. People, with the lockdown, the virus being in effect, right? A lot of people at home. I don't even hear a huge difference. You'd have to turn it up a little bit more, but then it's too much. You know what I mean? So as far as this plugin is concerned, I think turning this up to give yourself a little more presence, a little more warmth is what you're looking for. It shows you a gain reduction here. I assume this is just to boost that sonic character of your voice. Creating YouTube channels, blogging, this is with doing videos, and your audio sounds like shit, right? So yeah, with it on, with these particular settings, it just sounds a little warmer, it sounds a little fuller, and okay, cool. So next, you have over here the WLM Plus in mono. I'll go ahead and open this up. This too has presets, right? If you set it to the YouTube Spotify, what it tells you is it should be at -14 dB in the long term. In order to achieve that, you want to make sure all your other processing is happening before you apply this, right? So I haven't played anything, so these numbers are not actually showing anything. I'll bring this back to the beginning of my timeline. I'll go ahead and play it. Yo, what's up, baby? It's Fordee from Fordee. And if we want to increase this long term, what we need to do is bring up this slider right here. Now, if we bring it up and nothing is playing, it won't do anything. So we need to do it while it's playing. TV. So I thought today we would do a video that would provide or be very useful to a lot of people. With the lockdown, the virus being in effect, right? A lot of people at home creating YouTube channels, blogging, doing... So maybe 7 or 8 for this particular clip will sound right. I'm gonna go ahead and play. I'm gonna close this. That's all you need to do in this plugin. And I'm gonna scroll up and I'm gonna turn the effects on and off so you can hear how the Waves one sounds, which is, these are Waves plugins with the channel EQ. Let me go ahead and press play. Videos and your audio sounds like shit, right? So right now I'm actually using a cell phone to record this video, no special mic at all. And so what are my thoughts, right? What should you do? If money is not necessarily an option, I would not use this NS1 from Waves. I think the RX voice denoiser sounds great. Now, I don't think you need to use this GW voice centric either, but let's hear how the RX sounds with the WLM Plus and with a compressor. They're gonna sound a little bit different, and let's see which one sounds better, but a combination of these plugins is what I would usually go with. I'm gonna show you 3 different plugins or 3 different options to reduce the noise in your video, because having now we may need to go back into here, this WLM Plus, because we're using different things, and check what our LUFs are, right? So we may actually have to change this setting. I'll come back to the beginning, or relatively. Oh, what's up, baby? It's Fordee from FordeeTV. So I thought today we would do a video that would provide or be very useful to a lot of people. With the lockdown, the virus. Okay, so somewhere around here sounds good. Let me go ahead and play this, and I'm gonna turn off the WLM and turn on the compressor while it's playing. Hopefully you can hear some kind of difference. So I thought today we would do a video that would provide or be very useful to a lot of people. With the lockdown, the virus being in effect. So here's the thing. I think the best options are to have the WLM Plus from Waves with the RX6 voice denoiser. However, the compressor is free with Final Cut. So do you really need to buy this plugin? It's on sale right now, I think, on Waves website. I got it in a bundle, and yeah, but you can buy this plugin for relatively cheap if you buy it by itself with the current promotion they have on their site. However, did it sound that much better than using the compressor? To be honest, I don't think so. So again, my favorite options would be Channel EQ, RX6 voice denoiser, and the WLM Plus in mono. And to give us a final result of... Yo, what's up, baby? It's Fordee from FordeeTV. So I thought today we would do a video that would provide or be very useful to a lot of people. With the lockdown, the virus being in effect, right? A lot of people at home creating YouTube channels. So there, while I played it, I turned off the effects so you could hear what it sounded like with no processing and then with. Guys, what do you think? What do you use for your noise reduction plugins? Are you using noise reduction? If you're not, get on top of the ball, up your game, make sure your audio sounds good or your video is gonna sound whack. Guys, I hope you like this video. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. Until next time, I'm out.